Welcome to the Sunday Roast, where we remember to draw the goddamn lines, where our toes are clearly onside. And by onside, I mean completely neglected and disgusting. Until yesterday, you are watching another amazing and spectacular episode of the Sunday Roast. Welcome to the Sunday Roast with Mike and Danny. This is Danny and this is Mike, and we're kind of strange. We're in the tub and we drink a lot. At least one of us does. This is not Mike's body, but that is Danny's, and that's really gross. Thanks for watching the Sunday Roast. We love our fans. And here's Danny's mom.
His name's Michael.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And he's a Jew. You can tell he's a Jew. Look at
Ask him
him.
who's his daddy.
Magical moment. I can almost taste Danny. It's so close I can almost taste him.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. It's the Sunday Roast with your hosts, Magic Mike and Danny the GFP. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Sunday Roast. It's been approximately 5 weeks since we've done this, Daniel.
It has been far too long, young man. I think I've just tweeted the wrong Twitter one, which is an absolute shame. But
I mean, the last time we did a Sunday Roast together, you and me, Arsenal were still planning on winning the league.
yeah, years ago.
You had a disgusting porno mustache.
Yes.
Following
Let's
which,
talk about that.
following which, I shaved into a mustache during the show.
Yeah.
And Chelsea had less than 35 active players, and now this is basically what all their games look like. If I could get the video up here, but yeah, their games are this.
好，比赛正式开战了。我们的小球呢，现在年纪非常小，但是呢，非常的敢于起脚，在我们的世界。
Chelsea are the team in the white, by the way, if anyone was wondering. What a month it's been. Danny, are you feeling well? Are you doing well? We haven't even spoken that much.
No, because
outside of the
you
show.
completely ignored me. You blanked me while you were in my fair lands. Not even a cheeky WhatsApp bum picture. Nothing. Bugger all, sod all, fuck all. You gave me nothing. Dead to me.
I'm pretty sure that I was in touch at some point. But you know, busy man, busy life.
Schmoozing.
Schmoozing with the hoi polloi
Schmoozing with something
of Arsenal, and getting my my lamb ribs in, and all those different things. But
you know, whoever decided that chicken wings and lamb ribs were a thing, are a fucking genius, because 100 years ago they went in the bin of all the other offal, and then someone went, let's cover those skinny little chicken wings with no meat on them, and the frog legs, let's cover them in juice and sell them. It's like tripe. It goes in the bin, and ribs in the bin. I'll have the rest of the pig and cow and duck.
Okay, now you've done it, because I mean, have you not had a ribeye steak before? I mean, the rib meat is the best meat.
Steak.
The rib meat is the best meat of the animal. I have a tremendous amount of rib meat, and it's delicious. It is tasty. It's falling off, though, I have to say.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah, I mean, 94 pounds down from where I started just under 4 months ago.
Well done. It's
And,
very impressive.
And I thought I would get more handsome, but it's just not happening. I mean, that's not the way this
if anything,
goes.
you look uglier when you lose weight, because all that fat is like fake Botox. Just makes you look good, when in fact it's an illusion. So once all that drains from your face, you'll look your age.
It's weird because each chin comes off all at once. Like, it's not like a gradually shrinking thing. Like I had 8 chins, and then like a couple Fridays ago, one of them just went and just fell to the ground. And the chin meat is also really, really delicious.
Nom, 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 nom.
And there's no ribs to like hurt your teeth on while you're biting into it. So,
and also to help you with your looking like a young man again is the fact you've got decent weather and you'll have a bit of a tan. I mean, you look a bit dirty at the moment, so I don't know if that's grubbiness or whether that's tanness.
it's the fact that I haven't shove in a while, but yeah, today we're in the pool. We have a special guest in the pool with us today.
Oh, horsefly, alligator, duck, moose. Oh, you're actually in your pool.
Bakaya Saka is in the pool with me.
I didn't realize you were in the pool.
Oh yeah, no, I'm.
At least it means you don't have to. You don't have to get out to go for a wee, then, do you?
I'm in the goddamn pool.
Have you weed in it yet?
It's not on this particular visit, but overall, yes. I have to say, most people don't know that I have a pool. Jared was obviously confused about the pool. It looks like the unicorn has something to say.
Yeah, it's not happy.
It's a depth perception thing. It's actually like 6 feet away from the microphone. But look, if it wants to say something, it will say something. So yeah, we need a name for the unicorn. The Sunday roasted corn. Well,
you know what my unicorn's called, don't you? My one that I took for the walk.
Yes, it's called Alan. Alan, and I believe I just noticed that we still have that in here. So let's see the famous video of Danny taking Alan for a walk. I love that video.
I was on my own. Sean was filming me. That's why it was zoomed in. She was probably about 30 meters away from me, sat on a bench.
Yeah, I could hear her. I could hear her giggling, which is enjoyable.
I said, "Watch this," and so another bench we sat on. Well, you got off that bench and you carry on round Godmanchester Park. So I said, "Watch this." I went round there. I put it. She had no idea what I was doing. I said, "Watch this. You might want to film it." And then I'm doing that, and people are just looking at me and laughing and going, "Oh, what is he?" And then people walked away.
I love when someone tunes into the Sunday roast for the first time. It's just, when you break your duck with the Sunday roast thing, you come here for the Arsenal and you stay here for the non-Arsenal.
It's like all the stuff we spend doing normal podcasts trying not to say. We do it in this podcast. That's the best way of explaining the Sunday roast. So
Goonicorn is the leader in the clubhouse, but I'm not ready to commit to it yet. I don't know if like Goonicorn or like Rufus or like some name like that would be better. You went with Alan. I don't know which is funnier. I could call it Bakaya corn.
That's too long. Too many words.
It is. It's one word, but that's one word too many. So I have had it's been so long. It seems silly at this point to talk about my trip to London because that ended 3 weeks ago. But there's been so much going on since. But as always, let's start off with your week. Now, you did a Sunday roast last week, did you not?
Yes, did it with our mate Dean. Didn't go down too well because there's when someone's not used to podcasting, although I've known him the whole of his life, I remember meeting him when his mum was pregnant. I was 10. And I remember my mum and his son standing there chatting while she was pregnant. I remember that clearly. And so I've known him before he was born. And the whole time he was growing up, he was always saw me in the car park where we used to live. And he'd come and go, "Hello, mate, you going to the football? I support Everton." And then seeing him grow into a man and get married.
Did everything you say sound like a question? Because he's from Sport Everton?
Yeah, well, that's fake Scouser, isn't it? Yeah. And so, but it's a bit tough doing a podcast with someone that you've known for years, but they don't really know how it goes. So it's just mainly me asking him questions. But I think it kind of worked, but I don't think anything works as well as the two of us because, we were usually trying to, both of us have got shit to say the whole time. So, yeah, it's nice to speak to him. I haven't spoken to him in a couple of years.
Well, it's always nice to have your first conversation in 25 years be in front of literally tens of people. Literally tens of people. I really set you off with that yesterday, didn't
Set me up with what?
With the literally. When I said there were literally dozens of people watching, there were literally dozens of people watching.
It's unacceptable, people using that. And I was listening to what was I listening to? I think it was LBC today, and there was this woman rang up, and every third word was you know. And I just want to. In fact, what is his name? Nick Abbott on LBC. Someone rang up and did the obviously, blah, 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 obviously, blah, blah, and he said obviously 4 times in the space of 30 seconds. And Nick Abbott said, "If you say obviously one more time, I'm cutting you off." He went, oh, sorry. Carried on talking. 20 seconds later, said obviously, and it went, told you, and cut him off.
That reminds me of one time Tom Canton made the mistake of inviting me, I think Mike Hernandez, Andy, and Owen on the podcast. It was maybe Mike wasn't on it. Maybe it was just Andy, Owen, and I, and we agreed before the podcast that we were going to work in at the end of the day as many times as we possibly could, whether it made any sense in the context or not. You're just going through pictures now. Happy show.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to show this one. Have you stopped? Have you frozen? Oh, fuck me on my own again. Jeez, let's go through some of his pictures. This is one by Ruth Beck Art. Very, very nice. Ruth Beck is doing it. When's Echo? When is Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day is in just 2 days' time.
Oh, 2
on
days.
Tuesday, the 14th of
2
February.
days.
Of all time for my screen to freeze, it was while you had that picture up.
Echo, shut up. You're not getting anything.
So yes, Joshua Page has given us something to talk about, but we have a few things to cover. Other than the disastrous attempt at replacing me last Sunday on the Sunday roast, how's your month been? You feeling well?
I'm feeling better. I'm using the manual chair again. I had this. I think I explained before. My manual chair is the base of the chair that I sit on is like 4 metal aluminium bits, right? And then the material stretched over it. And the front one is where I sit, and part of my leg rubs against. Every time I lean forward, it rubs. So it made it sore. So I had to use the electric one for about 3 weeks, which was horrible because I can't cook in it. I can't do anything in it. Getting in and out of it's a pain in the ass.
I've heard you refer to it as the electric chair, and that scares me because I feel like you're on death row or something like that. So
I'm a menace to society. Oh, that's how I differentiate between the two chairs.
If you're going to sit on the electric chair, make sure it's during the show. You know.
I did it when I was got out of the bath. I was sat in it. I think all the shows I've done, apart from this week. Anyway, so that's all healed. Well, it's better. So it's not rubbing anymore, which is good. And then, been on a kind of diet where I've not had any. I think I had a couple of mouthfuls of crisps in the last 2 weeks. Other than that, I've just been eating chicken.
It's a chicken diet, a chicken and crisp diet.
I wish it was crisps. I love me some crisps. And then, everything's good. My brother's come back out. He's been to hospital 3 times in so far this year because he's got a wound that isn't healing, and they've told him he could die if he doesn't go to hospital. So he went to hospital, and they fucked it up even worse. And then they said you could die if you don't come back. He went back, and they made it worse. And then they said, "Oh, this is really, really bad. You might die if you don't come again." So this time he went all the way to Cambridge, and my mum was awake for 3 fucking days with no food, virtually no food, nothing to eat, sleep in, very little to drink because the NHS is fucked.
You know what makes you almost die is not eating food for 3 days.
Yeah. She's 79 and she didn't sleep. They give her no to sleep. After 3 days, they give her a mattress to sleep on the floor with. So he came home, and it was even worse than when he went in there because the NHS is fucked. The people who work there don't speak English, and the people who work there, like one bloke was working nights there. He had 16 patients to look after through the night. 16, one man. And this is he's found out he's diabetic as well. So he's come home, and now they've given him, what's it called? End of life care. What's that called?
Hospice.
No. It's palliative care. Yeah, they're coming to talk to him about palliative care.
I'm the guy to ask about end of life care synonyms because I've got them all just like right in the front of my mind. They come right out my face, into
see?
the microphone.
He doesn't care. He said, "I want to die." I mean, he's 48, but he can't. He's not been able to move, and now because of the wound, he can't. He has to lay down all the time because the wound is under his bum, so he has to lay down all the whole time. And
I shouldn't be laughing.
no, you laugh. He doesn't care. But he said,
I'm
"I can't move now."
I'm laughing at like two people just tuned in, and I'm wondering.
Yeah. Well, it gets worse. Anyway, so he's
Oh,
fucked.
no.
He wants to go. He's had enough. But they said, we'll give you more pain medication. He went, well, you can't actually give me any more. I'm on the maximum. So fuck knows what's going to happen there.
Well-
And then I get a message on Facebook a couple of days ago from my old next door neighbours where my mum and dad live saying, is your dad all right? I said, why? She went, well, I've just had a phone call from the boat he was on. He's gone on the cruise saying he's gone to hospital in Cadiz. And it turns out he had a heart problem. And his heart missed a beat or something, so they had to knock him out, shock him to get him back into his heart back into rhythm. And then he's in hospital in Cadiz. So if anyone's in Cadiz and fancy nipping in and seeing him, he's in a room on his own.
Cadiz,
And,
as in like the Spanish team
Yeah.
that keeps getting relegated.
Yeah, so he's there on his own, and he sounded fucked when I spoke to him, and he couldn't get out of bed, he couldn't move, he couldn't walk, he couldn't go to the toilet. And I spoke to him today, and he's up and walking around, he's fine. And that was a week after he smashed his car up on Huntington Ring Road. So
Well, he's not
he's
not
and he's
having
had to
a good time.
cancel his holiday to the Caribbean, which cost I think it was about 1,800 quid, and he's lost 80% of the money on that. So he's going to have to make an insurance claim. So, and my mum's in bed all day today because she's got a sore shoulder, neck, and back. And then when she said that here the other day, I went, "I'm a pussy, I'm a crack."
Ugh. I'm gonna vomit in the pool. This is gonna be the first time I vomit in the pool prior to urinating in it. It's disastrous.
So my brother's fucked, my dad's fucked, my mum's not well, and I'm okay. So I'm sitting here and keeping warm. Got all the heaters on, as you can see. But yeah, apart from that, I'm fine. They're all falling apart, which
Well,
means I'll get all their money.
As
Money,
far as
money.
I'm concerned, look, I mean, I don't mean to sound insensitive here, but you're the only one that I care about in that universe,
Me
other than
too.
your mom. Your mom, I care very much about, and she knows
Yeah.
that. But you know, as long as you're okay, man,
I'm good.
I'm gonna be all right. Are you familiar with the Puppy Bowl?
The Puppy Bowl.
Yes, as in the
Nope.
Super Bowl for puppies.
Oh my good God. No.
This is a long-standing tradition on one of the cable channels over here. It is currently going on right now, and while I don't want to get a copyright strike, I'm going to show you. The Puppy Bowl is on. We've got Julius here. He's from Virginia. Can you see that? All right.
Yeah.
The Puppy Bowl is on. They're on the pitch. There's good. They're doing introductions right now. There's Ruff. So you know, I could give two shits about the Super Bowl, but the Puppy Bowl, I have so much money on right now that
Really?
if the right team doesn't win, all of this that you see is gone.
No.
I've wagered it all, and it's gone. So you know, let's go red team, and that's all I'm gonna say. If they don't win, I'm gonna fucking neuter their ass.
How's the weather? Because I have to live vicariously through others at the moment.
Today's
middle of February.
Today's chilly. It's cloudy. It's a little windy. It's about 21 degrees. So
It's 8 degrees here.
yeah. And so I've had to crank the heater in the pool up
Oh, bless your socks.
to.
Can I send you some money for that?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. We have not gotten our first gas bill since we had the pool heater turned on yet, and I am bracing for impact. But yeah, the heater in the pool today is up to 91 degrees, which is I think 32 or 33 degrees centigrade.
Ooh, mama. I'm coming in that.
It's nice.
I'm coming
and
in hot,
toasty.
baby.
Nice and toasty. You're just gonna don't come in the pool in the electric chair though. We don't want that.
No.
I will be, you know, it'll be the best watched podcast ever when we have you visiting me here and we have video of you in my pool, just kind of floating there. It's going to be on the Unicorn, which has found a corner that it seems to want to stay in. I just envisioned it kind of going back and forth behind me the whole time, but
You can have a miniature railway there as well, Bill. So you can have things on the railway given to you from the wife. You can put food on it and choo-woo.
like a dumbwaiter type of
No,
thing.
miniature railway thing. Just have a
Oh,
little
oh,
thing.
yeah, like a choo-choo railway.
Yeah,
thing.
that's it.
Not
Have
a
a
railway.
circular one.
Yes. That is a fantastic.
I think
idea.
you'd look good with a controller's hat on and a little whistle. You could be a referee.
That would be beautiful. Mark, let's do a shout out for the chat. But first, Mark asked if there's a golf course behind me. It is not a golf course. It is in this portion of Florida. It is the only hill. Let me see if I can get less glare from the sun. It's the only like large hill. They call it a mountain actually, but I don't know.
That's
It's
a
not
beast.
it's just a large hill with palm trees on the top of it. They're not flags. They're palm trees. And and what I do is I walk. And you'll want to see this. I have a walk that I do. You can take me off full screen now. I mean, I'm not that hot. I have a walk where you go in front of the house, then you go up the hill, then once you get to the top of the hill, you walk from one end of the hill to the other one being the one that you see right over my shoulder here. Is a nice view of Bradenton there, and then you walk down to the other end, down to the other side of the mountain, which is another community, and then you walk up the street, across, and down. And you know what that walk looks like on Map My Walk?
A penis. Otherwise, you wouldn't be mentioning it. Or boobs.
Here is who's that?
That is my message on my phone when Big Bob's my mum's got a new car. We can talk about that. Nice.
I did the Map My Walk the other day when I did it, and here's the walk. So it looks like a couple of legs and a massive schlong in the process of either urinating or orgasming, and
it's like a giant poo squirting out at an alarming rate.
Well, it could also be that. It's a 2.5 mile walk, and I can't recommend the penis walk enough. That is an actual map of my progress from a couple days ago. So, but no, it's not a golf course behind me. If it were, it would be a very difficult hole, which is that's what she said. But it would be a very difficult hole. Here is a view from the top of the hill, by the way, at sunset. On what night was that? Was that Monday or Tuesday? Beautiful sunset from the top of the hill. If you look all the way to the left, you can see our house. Right around my forearm height is our house, all the way to the left. Here's me attacking.
Where there's a claim, there's blame. Or the other way around.
I was getting me some at this point, and here's the view without anything disgusting interrupting it. It's just it's heaven. I got to tell you, all those Sunday roasts that we did when the house was being built, and it's still got a lot of work to get done on it, but this is what it all was about because I love it here.
What can I get? Can you employ me so that I'll get me a green card, and then what can I get?
Can I employ you? I do employ you.
Yes. What can I buy there for about $400,000? Which is if I kill all my family, that's how much I'll have.
50% share of this house. It's not bad.
Does that include access to the pool and one of the toilets? One or the other.
It includes 50% access to the pool.
Are you allowed to build on that? Can I go and live on that hill? I don't need much room.
That hill is not technically our property, and there's a big pond behind it, in front of it. Let's see if I can do this here. Hold on.
Everybody, put your bets on now. How long before the camera is in the pool with him? I'm saying about 20 minutes.
The pond, we have seen an alligator. There is an alligator that lives in that pond. Which is why we finally have this nice big cage here so that the alligator does not join and try to devour the unicorn.
That would be sad.
If you've just tuned in.
Da 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 da. Oh, it's a unicorn! Hello, Tarquin.
All right, let's see if this guy will stay here for this because I need his company. We've never had 3 people on a Sunday roast before, but
no, we haven't.
But this will be the first time. Speaking of which,
yes, we did. You did one from your when you were on holiday somewhere.
That's right. You were on with Chris, and then I barged on as we, almost every time I'm on the Burkamp Wonderland channel, it's from barging on unannounced.
No, we were doing a Sunday roast, and you were in a hotel when you had one of the blokes there, and he came in and we had a chat.
Oh yes, that's right. I had.
So basically, it's just more lies from the likes of you, you fucking dodgy unicorn, Tarquin, the unicorn.
I had Rick with me. I forgot Super Rick, Rick James.
Motherfucker.
Rick, part partner in Gooner Properties Limited, and you'll see some pictures.
Sure. A small little bald bloke who follows you everywhere. I thought
no. That's Tom, and he doesn't follow me everywhere.
I thought
only on Shabbos.
Was your Passepartout, your man Friday?
That's Tom. That's Tom from Richmond. Tommy Sevens, RVA Gooner. Tom's the other guy involved with GPL. But wait, he's coming over. He's coming over. Saying hi. The wind has brought him to me,
and oddly, it's your wind that pushes people away from you.
It is. All right, I think my neighbors saw that.
You're kissing a unicorn. I mean, you have to.
I explained it to them earlier, about an hour ago, because they were outside with both of their families. They have a big Super Bowl party going on at their house later, and I had to explain the unicorn, and they're like, you can explain whatever you want. We'll just have to take your word for it, and so now they know about Bukayo Saka, and they know about the England camp, and the whole 9 yards. So let's give a shout out to the chat. We've got some roasties in here who also sometimes double as squatties and occasionally goonies and sometimes Berkeys. We have John in here, just John.
I know who that. We only know one person who's JON, but it's not him, is it? Because he usually has 305 Gooner on it or whatever it was.
Oh,
He's
no,
back doing podcasts.
This is not Miami/Chicago, John.
No.
We've got Jared Carver in the house. He was looking to podcast tonight, and no one would do it with him, so he's here.
I need to ask some of your lot, like him and Owen, to come and do my preview and post game shows every now and then.
Sure, they would love to. I mean, they can't get themselves enough, Danny. We've got Mass Gunner in the house. We've got Joshua Page with the typical first timer tweet here. We have future Sunday roast co-host whenever you're sick or need to bail last minute. Now that you told me once that you weren't doing it with guests anymore because no one's like me, and then you went and destroyed the reputation.
It doesn't work, does it? It doesn't really work properly.
Well, I'll tell you what will work is Sebi, because Sebi and I can fill an hour and a half with absolutely nonsense. Very good.
I do enjoy watching his shows with the other three.
Yes, Not Another Arsenal podcast on usually Monday nights at 3 a.m. UK time, like 9:30 a.m. India time, and 10 p.m. Eastern time, or 10:30 whenever they feel like it. But yeah, Sebi, Chris, Kelly, and Mike Hers, they actually do a wonderful job. They do a wonderful job. I only tune in if Sebi's on though. Who else do we have? We've got Mark Bacretin here, he of the Lamb Rib Loving Society. We have BX Gunner. We have Dublin Gooner, who says any pedicure talk and he's out of and he's out of here, so we can count on his presence for about another 5 minutes.
Oh, geez, I'm going as well.
We have Ryan Fletcher, who's had a lovely weekend full of no conflict whatsoever on Twitter.
You're a very silly boy, Ryan.
We're not here to make any judgments, to declare any winners. All I have to say is I only know one person in that conflict, and they would never do what they were accused of doing.
No, I don't believe he did what he did, but he needs to work on his excuses.
I don't think he did what he did is not a good way to defend him.
No. I don't think he did what they said he did.
Yes. No, I don't think
what
so.
They were implying. Why would he bother?
I don't think so either, but
he wouldn't fucking bother.
Nothing like spending Saturday or Friday that was full of that. We got Arnie Arneson in from Iceland, whose next comment will be about alcohol and how much I'm drinking. We have Mass Gunner wanted to replace Mattress Mac, who is a big Mattress Mac. This guy, I think he's in Texas, that owns a mattress like empire, and he bets or whenever, like, I think he's in Houston, and whenever a Houston team is in the championship game of any particular sport, he promises free mattresses to anyone that buys them Like, and if they win, he rebates them, and then I think he bets like millions of dollars to kind of hedge that bet and offset it. And I don't know, it's this crazy thing, but yeah, Mattress Mike. I am not betting on the Super Bowl. I have a couple of those squares. Are you familiar with Super Bowl squares?
I can work out what the concept is, so probably.
Yeah. Well,
you just buy a square.
Yes, but what
money.
does the square do for you? Is what I'm asking if you know.
Well, knowing you, like you'd either shoot it or shag it, but I'd imagine it's all the teams are written in a square, or something is written in all the squares. You buy a square, and then if your square wins, you win all the money.
It's a 10 by 10 grid, and each number from 0 through 9 is on the top, and then corresponding 0 through 9s on the bottom. Randomized. You buy a square, and if at the end of any quarter or at the end of the game, the score has like the Chiefs 0 through 10. If you have Chiefs and you're on the 6th column, and you're on the Eagles and you have the 6th column, then if the score at the end of any quarter or at the end of the game is like 16-16, then you've won that prize for that quarter. And there's 100 possible outcomes for each one, and there are some that are much more likely to happen, like 0-0 or 0-7 or 0-3, than others like 8-2 or some other scores that are pretty unusual. But that's the only thing I'm doing this year. I'm not betting on any of it because I really don't want to be that focused on it because I don't care. I'm rooting.
You're gonna be watching it.
I'll be watching it. I'm rooting against a team more than I'm rooting for a team in this one.
Oh, tonight is gonna end 21-24. I'm not telling you which team. And I've watched every Super Bowl since 1984. Not missed one.
Yeah, I haven't missed one either, but I've been.
And my team hasn't been in any of the bastards, I don't think.
We've talked about this. They were in Super Bowl 19. Oh, yeah. They were in Super Bowl 17 and 19.
What years are they?
84 and 86.
Maybe I've seen everyone since 1986, and that's why I support the Dolphins, because they made the American FA Cup final, and I thought, well, they're there once, they're going to win it every year, and then there was tears. Dolphins
doesn't work that way. You have almost as much parity in the NFL as you do in the English Premier League right now. Speaking of which, Arsenal.
Oh, don't.
Are you livid, or are you? I mean, I'm just so fucking just beat up by the whole thing with this refereeing and the VAR. Like it doesn't.
He's done it before. He was suspended in 2022.
He's done it before.
He's done
it every time. I mean, but it's just like at this point, how many more times? Oh my God, there's a dog with no front legs named Joey that is in the look at him.
Why,
Can you see?
Why would you do that to a dog? Just shoot it. Put it out of its misery.
He's hopping around. The poor dog. Don't shoot it. But now the dog's got a. I mean, that's a great heartwarming story of a dog with no front legs.
Shoot it. Drown. In fact, don't waste it. Just drown it.
He's a dick.
Then eat it.
He's a dick.
Eat it. Oh, don't! I'm so hungry.
Guys in a wheelchair, and he's talking about shooting things that don't have working legs.
I'll shoot myself if I could get with guns illegal. I say I save the government a fortune.
Dublin Gunner says, as a very casual, to the point of not really caring, which is where I am, Steelers fan, should I be hating the Eagles? If you are a Steelers fan in any capacity, you should absolutely be hating the Eagles. Yes, 100%. Is gambling legal in Florida? It is if you're on a Native American reservation. They have Seminole, Hard Rock, and Miccosukee casinos. But for some reason, when I go on my online app, which I'm able to use from Virginia, I cannot use it from Florida. So I don't think that they've done like the online app-based gambling in Florida yet, which is odd because Florida's politics are pretty much, we're going to stay out of your business unless it involves your personal rights and the rights of women and black people. But otherwise, if you're white and Christian, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Hallelujah.
But apparently not including gambling. So yeah. So that's who's in the chat. What else do we have? Gunagra was last week.
Yeah.
We missed you again. I was waiting for you at the airport.
I don't even have a passport. I need to get that sorted out. I might get myself an Irish passport and then I can go wherever I want.
Yeah, we so Gunagra, this was the 9th annual edition of Gunagra. It's a massive gathering of mostly American, but not all. We got a lot of expats, and we have some Pats who actually traveled over from England.
Do you know many people that have moved from England and to live in America apart from Andy and his mum?
Well, Andy and his mom barely count because Andy doesn't even sound. You can't even get the proper sound. But yeah, there's I can think of at least a dozen folks in Arsenal America who are relocated, who are expats, who still have their accents, unlike Andy. Andy's the only person I know that's from there that hasn't kept his accent.
Fake, that's why. And are they all happy that they moved?
Because he decided he doesn't want to be English no more.
Are they all happy that they moved? What are you doing?
Mostly no.
Mostly no.
No, mostly no. I mean, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't be happy. I'm really trying to go the opposite direction.
What's wrong? What's wrong with living there?
Over the next few years? I'm just tired of it. And you can't go to Arsenal games except for meaningless games over the summer, which has really only started in the last 7 or 8 years anyway. So yeah, we got Masked Gunner is an example. So Masked, tell us whether you like it over there or not. I've only ever run into you in outside the Emirates, but the Emirates Stadium. But yeah, tell us in the chat whether you enjoy it, whether you prefer to be here, what brought you here, and all that, because there are a number of masked gunners and unmasked gunners that are over here. For one, at Gunagra, we had let's see,
everything is so cheap over there compared to the rest of the world.
Depends on where you are.
England.
No,
I can't spend the rest of my life.
There are very different levels of cost of living just within the U.S. I mean, it really depends whether you're close to a big city or not.
Yeah, but I can't spend the rest of my life staying indoors for 7 months a year, 6 months a year.
So
From October, November, December, January, February, March, I don't leave the house because it is so fucking cold. And when it's cold and wet, I can't move. My hands go cold. I can't move. I can't do anything. And it is a
2/3 or more of the U.S. is cold in the winter. It's just places like this.
Year round.
Well, then you got to move to Florida. You got to move to Arizona. Certain parts of it. You got to move to Southern California. Texas is weird, man. Texas gets cold in the winter. Certain parts of it, anyway. I mean, there's snow in Dallas, and it can get downright cold in certain parts of Texas. So. We have here's an example of me with a Pat and an expat at Gunagra. I'm on the left. I don't know if
the
you
one
know
in the
that
middle looks like he's completely integrated into American society.
That is Nola Gunner, aka Stephen Feely, who has feestees.com. You should go there and check out his t-shirts. He's the one that made the 89 shirt. He is the no, he's not the husband of Tiffany. But no, you'll see her in a second, and him. But yeah, that's Stephen Feely, aka Nola Gunner. Great guy, 100% expat, and you can tell. And then that's Kevin Dempsey, aka Dempsec, who is a squatty, who is a goonie, who's I don't know if he's a roasty or not, but he was over with his lovely wife Allison for 5 or 6 days in New Orleans and a few days in New York before that. Lovely guy. Really enjoyed getting to see him.
No, if that's Dempsey, who is this in the photo then?
What do you mean?
In his avatar.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, there he is. I've just outed Dempsec. I'm not sure he wanted me to do that or not, but
you've seen. He's been in the pictures that you've been putting on Twitter.
Yeah,
and there's 23 people watching this, so I don't think anyone's going to learn anything new.
Well, and one of them's him, so maybe 7 of them are probably him. But But so yeah, we had so those are the Pats and the expats. Here we have some folks might know the lady next to me is Caroline. She is an English expat that lives in Kansas City, as a matter of fact, and her mother, who is an English expat who lives in Florida.
And
So-
do you ask them, are you happy living here? Would you want to go home? If you say to someone not from the UK, are you happy here? Would you like to go home? The police will arrest you for racism.
I was about to say I'm constantly asking
Kind of
Caroline if she
country
wants to go
fucking
home.
in.
I'm constantly asking Caroline if she wants to go home, and it doesn't work.
No,
Next to Caroline's mom is Joey Murphy, the famous Joey Murphy, famous to me anyway. And then there's Rick, former third guest of the Sunday roast. That's my buddy Rick from St. Louis. So
there's a woman
we're
in the
having-
background waving, the blonde woman in the very far background. She sneaked in, photo bombed.
yeah, I don't know
Who's
who
that?
that is. Can't really see that far.
Have a-
Then there's Danita sitting down with the hat on. She was at that moment getting ready to become the queen of Gunnergraw 9.
Why? What did she do to get that?
She is just a fantastic gooner who comes to all the Gunnergraws, and there she is with her queen crown. And my buddy Ryan Lordos right next to me. He's a guy that I know from Virginia. He pulled me out of a gutter once, out of not a gutter, a manhole cover.
Oh, yeah, when you dropped your keys, wasn't it?
Yep, I dropped my keys. He pulled me out, and therefore, for that, he won the king trophy and the title and the queen. So that's the royalty of this Gunnergraw 9. I was overlooked yet again.
Shameful. Especially
but
with the
I,
new year. You thought they'd
you
be
know,
right on that.
But and I beat Ryan up over it. I kicked his goddamn ass
Seems fair.
over this situation. So that's the two of them. Who else do we have? Oh, here's a picture of 50% of a chat group that we have called My Little Pony. And the reason that it's called My Little Pony is because it used to be called Goddamn Fucking Motherfucking Pieces of Shit. And one of the members, and Tom from Richmond, told me that he was in the car with his phone plugged in and his 8-year-old daughter, and messages kept coming up on the screen from fucking pieces of shit or something like that.
Oh, dear.
And he said, can we change the name of the group to something a little bit more kid friendly? And so immediately it became changed to My Little Pony. And so these are 5 of the ponies right here. Oh, here's me wearing an incredibly, someone made a flag
Oh, I
of
like that. That's good.
of the part of the stadium wrap that has all the Arsenal America branches on it, and he made a flag of it, which is fantastic, and it also is wearable, and you can look like a total prat dancing around in a cape like this.
Yes,
And I
indeed.
demonstrated how that would work
Wow. I think you almost pull it off.
almost, and of course there wouldn't be the Gooners podcast at Gunnergraw if it wasn't for the Bell making an appearance. I actually left the Bell there on Thursday by accident. Thought it was gone forever, and they presented it back to me on Saturday.
You told me
So,
a lie, boy.
So we have it. Yep.
You told me a lie.
Yep.
The Dolphins are in the Super Bowl 71, 72, 73, 82, and 84. So it was 84. the first
82
one
and
I watched.
84. All right. I got the
You're
years.
an absolute scumbag. Why can't I?
Well, no,
I should
well,
never
here's-
believe anything you say.
Here's what happened. 82, the season was 82, but the Super Bowl was played in 83.
Oh,
That's
how does that work?
Well, because the season starts in September and the Super
Oh,
Bowl's
yeah.
played well, then it was January. Now it's February.
You don't just make the rules up as you go along.
Here's Tiffany. Tiffany is the I can't even find the words to
Did you-
describe
Did
how
you
great
smell
she
her
is.
hair?
I smelled everything
Oh,
right in front of Sean, her husband, right there. But Tiffany is the
did you smell his hair? His hair looks like it has been inhaled.
I didn't smell any of his body parts, but
Try it.
I smelled all of hers. She
Yeah.
is lovely. She's talented. She's the one who coordinates everything with Arsenal for Arsenal America when they come on tour, and
Lovely.
she's from New Orleans, and so she is kind of one of the folks. There's a crew of them, but there's one of the folks that puts everything together. We got there was a parade, or a parade, if you want to call it that. Every Goonagra, not for Goonagra, but there's one on the same weekend every time, and Kevin loves a parade. It turns out Demsek loves himself a parade. A parade. So here's some video of the parade. Very irreverent parade with lots of religious, lots of religious and other boob-related commentary, social commentary, let's call it, through floats. Some other floats that they had at the parade were, let's see, instead of Jazz Fest, which is an annual event in New Orleans, they had Jizz Fest, and
that sounds rude.
And a penis float with a fan on the end of it.
And why not?
That was hot. And we've got me, Kevin, Allison. I think the person who might have had the best time at Goonagra of anyone, of the 200 or so odd people that were there, is Allison. Because she had the lowest expectations going in. Thought it was just going to be a bunch of people talking about football, which she's not that into, and it was, as she found out, more just of a family reunion of sorts of Gooners, and that's why I go. There's hugging all the time. There's everything. There's a group of people still there on Sunday watching the women's game, and the Man City lost to that lot up the road. Thank you very much.
Ding dong.
This is a group picture taken after we had just capitulated to Everton.
Ugh,
I don't think I had a very happy face in that one, but so anyway, a great time was had. If you know, and congratulations and great work to Demsek and Allison, who had an absolutely great time, I think, and who traveled likely the furthest from that. I missed a bunch of chats while I was showing the montage. So it was Tiffany the reason Aston and Odegaard are buddies. Don't know if she's the reason, but she certainly helped facilitate that. I know that the club learned about Aston from social media back.
Why'd they pick him?
Well, because they wanted to highlight social justice and the work, that incredible work that he does, organizing and promoting social justice causes in Florida, where it's sorely needed. And the original way that we all found out about Aston was because he was protesting against the George Floyd murders in Orlando, wearing his yellow Arsenal kit, and there's a story behind that. If you look up Aston Mack Arsenal Orlando protest, you can learn a little bit more about it. But then Men in Blazers podcast got in touch with him and interviewed him. Then the Gooners podcast discovered him and blew him up into what he is today. And now, you know, he's the man.
He hasn't got a decent fucking mic.
He's the man who, yeah, well,
shocking. All that fame and money.
Yeah.
You spend less money on crack and tarts. Not crack. No, it's cocaine and whores, isn't it? Crack and tarts, they don't even go together. Cocaine and whores.
Good, though. I think we're having that at the Super Bowl party tonight.
I love tarts. Nom, 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 nom. If anyone's got any tarts, I'd gobble them all down now.
So let's see what I've missed here. We have Eagles fans threw snowballs at Santa Claus. Yes, that is one of many reasons to root against those fuckers.
I'm just looking. There's only 4 teams that have never been to a Super Bowl. Do you know what they are?
Let me see if I can name them. Houston Texans.
Yep, 20 years they've been in existence.
Yeah, some of the newest teams. The Houston Texans. Jacksonville has been.
Why do you call them that?
I said Jacksonville has been to the Super Bowl.
I thought you said has-beens, as in...
No. The Jacksonville has... They're one of the newer teams, but they have been to the Super Bowl.
No,
who else has not been to the Super Bowl?
They've not been to the Super Bowl.
Who? Jacksonville? Yeah, they have.
Yeah. No. 0-0. Never been. There's only 4. That's the second one.
Oh, all right. Maybe I'm thinking of Carolina. They've been. I thought Jacksonville had been. All right.
The other 2, 57 years. So I'll take this. That's how long the league has been going since they amalgamated.
Arizona has 57 years. That would be since 19. That's not how long the league's been going. 57 years is 19.
No, when they combined the two leagues, I think that is.
Well, 57 years is how long the Super Bowl's been going on.
Yeah.
What other teams have never made it? Shit.
Yeah.
You got me into something that I can't let it go now.
Well, it's not like there's many teams, is it? It's not like asking which
Well,
teams have not won the FA Cup.
There's 32 teams.
Fuck you know, anyone, even I've got my cat can count to 32.
I'm trying to do this geographically now. Tennessee's been, the Rams have been, the Chargers have been, the 49ers have been, the Raiders have been, the Bengals have been, the Browns have not been.
There you go. That's one of them.
And the Detroit Lions.
Yes. How do you know that? Someone's put it in the chat, haven't they? There you go, you fucking cheating scum. I've outed him as a shitbag. Oh dear, where's he gone? Could be gone for days. Oh, he's gone to get it.
The fact that the Lions and the Browns have not been, those are two teams that have been in this league for a long, long time. And they were like in the 50s, they were good. And they were they were the
championship for 3 times in the 50s and 1 in the 60s. I don't know any of this. I'm just reading it.
Well, and I think the Lions might have won it 5 times in a row or something like that. But in the 50s, but yeah, never in the Super Bowl era.
How about teams that have been in the Super Bowl the most and not won it?
And not won it.
2.
The Vikings were in it 4 times and didn't win. I know me some trivia, mofo.
Were you Mars Gunner says, were you off having a wee when you did that?
No, I was celebrating in the waterfall, which I think you saw, and then I was getting soccer corn. Okay, what do I get? What do I get for getting that trivia right?
You ain't got the other one yet.
Who was in it the most without winning it?
Yeah.
What's the record? How many times were they
4.
in it without winning it?
Yeah.
Shit. I don't know. I'm gonna give up on this one because I don't want to bring the pod to a grinding halt.
It's the Bills.
The Bill. Oh yeah. Oh, that's dumb. They were in it 4 times in a row and didn't win it. Minnesota was in it 4 times in. They were in Super Bowls 4. No, Super Bowls 4.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
4, 8, 9, and 12, and they didn't win it. But the Bills were in it like 4 years in a row.
4 years in a row and not win it. That is,
and they didn't even come close. Like one of the years they came close, and the other ones they didn't. They got absolutely destroyed by like Dallas and a couple other teams. This is when I used to know every single thing about every single Super Bowl and every single thing.
What
NFL.
team scored the most points in the Super Bowl final then?
Was it 55 points from the 49ers, or was it 52 from the Dallas Cowboys? I think is next. But anyway, we've established that I know my shit, and that but I know more about Super Bowl trivia from Super Bowl 1 to Super Bowl 30 than I do from Super Bowl 30 to 57. Like everything just confuses me after that. So, is it time to discuss the post game show from yesterday?
Whose post game show?
The Gooners Pod post game show was canceled in favor of a very special way of me coping with the VAR and the capitulations yesterday.
Hold on, I'll answer this question first from Demsek. Can a team be kicked out of the AFL, NFL for being consistently shit?
Well, you can't be kicked out of the AFL because that's the Australian Football League, and I mean maybe you could be, but that the AFL doesn't exist. For being consistently crap. No, for being consistently crap, you get rewarded with the first round draft pick or the first draft pick for the next draft. So that's why you keep seeing teams go from, 2 wins and 15 losses to being like 12 wins and 5 losses the next season, because you get to basically regenerate everything and start all over again.
Josh has asked this a few times. We did have it saved, but we'll answer it now. What's the most popular Super Bowl dish? It's going to have to be Budweiser and ribs, isn't it?
I would think. I mean, if I had to choose one, it would probably be buffalo wings. Whether they're in the Super Bowl or not, probably buffalo wings. They fly.
What the hell is a buffalo wing?
I don't know, but they're delicious, and I can't eat them anymore.
Are they chicken? Are they buffalo? Have you eaten buffalo?
They are chicken. They're chicken, so you should be able to have them because all you've been eating is chicken.
Have you eaten buffalo? Do you eat buffalo? Is it a thing you eat?
Yeah, when you eat it, it's normally called bison, but yeah, you can eat buffalo. But buffalo meat is like beef, but it's leaner and I don't love the taste of it. There are a lot of game meats that I like. I like antelope. I love venison, which is deer. I feel awful about it, but I love it.
They had their chance to evolve and failed.
But bison, buffalo meat, I'm not so sure. Yeah. So Demsek says, what are the 2 leagues called? They're actually conferences in the league, and they're called AFC and NFC. And the teams basically play each other throughout the season. But then when it comes to the playoffs, the AFC are on one side, the NFC are on the other side, and the NFC champions Eagles now play the AFC champion Chiefs in a game that kicks off in about an hour and 25 minutes or so, after like a 5-minute long national anthem and 71 airplane flyovers and all of that. So Loki says that unicorn has a pretty mouth. See, Loki gets us. He low-key gets us. That's what the kids are saying these days. When it's something that you don't really want to like emphasize, they're like, yeah, I kind of low-key like this podcast. So, it looks like the Puppy Bowl might be over. Puppy Bowl 19. That's how long they've been doing the Puppy Bowl. And it's over. And they just did like a death dedication to Mykonos, who was a puppy who found a new home, which I think is the goal of all of these, is to find them new homes, and unfortunately couldn't overcome their health issues. So let's raise a glass of vodka and Gatorade, to Mykonos.
So Mykonos,
this one's for you.
Put it in the bin, did they? Oh well, never mind. You were saying about the post-game show yesterday. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, I was so annoyed after the game yesterday that I decided to forego an open mic or otherwise post-game show, and instead, essentially live tweet my anger pedicure.
Oh yes, I did see it. Yes,
and shockingly, it didn't get that much traction on social media. I don't understand.
It didn't have legs.
It didn't have legs. It didn't have feet. It didn't have toes. But I have a montage. I love when the guy just blows into the picture. Just the tip of the unicorn. But yeah. So this was. I'm gonna walk you through. And if you missed the opening of the podcast, and I know many of you did because there were only 7 people when we opened, we are at the Sunday Roast.
We're bookending this with human tragedy.
Yes, well, the Sunday Roast does draw the lines.
I fucking hate feet. We're sick.
We drew the lines. My toes were onside, but I mean, look at the shambles of a condition of my feet.
You're an absolute disgrace to be a human being.
This is what PGMOL is doing to me. It making my feet look like. I mean, look at the middle one on the left side. Like it's not even the entire nail. It's like that looks like Kid and Play's haircut. You remember that guy? You remember Kid?
I had the album Funhouse.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Kid or Play. I've always gotten this wrong, I think. But one of those motherfuckers, their hair was patterned after my middle left toe. But so this is what we were dealing with beforehand until I showed up at this place, and it's KT Nails. I mean,
did they know who you were?
It's the second best nail salon here other than Zinchenko nails. But Zinchenko nails was for some reason closed
Yeah.
yesterday.
It was busy taking people's handbags and shooting them a mile over the top of the shop for no fucking reason,
Well,
and having an inability to track back.
Yeah, let's just say that Zinchenko nails had a horrendous day yesterday, so I decided to go to KT Nails and give them a chance because he's clearly not going to get one, and so let's see if there's any comments before we start walking through the pedicure. But if you missed my Twitter feed here, and Dublin Gooner is getting ready to leave, It's a night. Have you ever had a pedicure, or are you like John, or are you like Dublin Gooner, who in 52 Irish years has not had?
I'm a man. Of course, I fucking haven't. I do my own. I did my toenails the other day when I got out of the bath. It took me.
How do you reach
hours.
that shit?
It's a long old story, but yeah, I did them both, and the right hand
long
side
story
of my
involving
knee
a
still
conveyor
hurt.
belt, a lever, and 14 tractors.
Well, it was. I just used my my hoist in my bedroom to lift my leg up, but then leaning forward put strain on my knee, so my knee still hurts a little bit now. But
why are you not videoing this?
Videoing
the process of you dealing with your feet. I mean, you think of the podcast. Come on, think of the podcast first.
But maybe I should do next time because my toes are in very good condition. But I've noticed that my
you don't use them.
I know, very careful and very low mileage. My little toe and the one next to it have got virtually no nail on them now, and that nail, what is there, never grows. It's just a stub of a nail.
Well, this very quickly became this, and I think they cut too much off because
are they stingy?
You can see like the bone, I think, almost there. Like they almost cut it down to the bone, and I'm like, if you're trying to make a buffalo wing out of my toe, then that's fine. But like that was a little too close for comfort right there, so I was nervous. But yeah, then it progressed into this. Now there are a lot of parts of a pedicure to enjoy.
I don't like my feet being touched as well.
That is not one that I enjoyed. I do not like the nail file. It's one of these it's like the nails on the chalkboard type of shit. The nail file on your toes is not a fun thing. Demsek he needs to see a podiatrist. Well, it's unfortunate that my dad died 13 years ago because I would have sent him over to Stoke-on-Trent to see you, and everything would have been fine. But interesting question. Don Juan asked if I got the extra service. Well, stay tuned for that. What did that poor woman do to be forced to take on that job? That's what I was asking the whole time.
Did she shudder at any point?
When I walked in, there was a mass exodus of people wearing jackets and masks, and like the people that worked there, and she just was the one who. She was like checking her phone. She didn't see me come in, and she was the one who got stuck. But as we continue through the process, this is next. This is to get rid of all the dead skin on the bottom of my.
See, when I have a bath, I get the rough sponge to my feet, and then I get the glove thing between my toes, like a rough glove that you put on. I put that between my toes, and then I have a pumice stone for the base of my feet, and I don't even use them. I just look after them.
Where does pumice stone, if I remember correctly from school, that is an igneous rock from volcanoes. Where does pumice stone appear in the UK?
Shops.
The shops. I knew that was what you were going to say. So, all right. So they're scraping the dead skin. Here's a piece. We're going to put that on auction for GoonersVersusCancer.com. And I fully expect it to garner thousands and thousands of just of people vomiting and not putting anything on it. But that's pretty much what fell off of my heel. There wasn't a lot to it. Then they start rubbing these stones on my feet, and it looked at one point like they were trying to put wheels on them. Like they were installed, like they started to drill these into my ankles. I'm like, seems a little permanent for me. I didn't pay for that.
No,
but
doesn't look good.
It looks. Does she have gloves over gloves?
I think she has about 4 pairs of gloves on, and it still wasn't enough.
Like the 2-bagger, like where you hook up with somebody and she wears a bag over her head just in case my bag over my head falls off. That's what she was basically doing there. And let's see, have I missed anything here? Because I don't want you guys to miss anything.
Hey, I wouldn't want to miss a single second of this torture, would we?
So here they're lubing up my toes. You get to see a brief video of a person rolling. You can't really see it, but they're rolling. She's rolling her eyes. She's cursing in Vietnamese underneath that mask.
Did you apologize about the war?
They won, so what do I have to apologize for?
Yeah. Well, that country's still fucked, isn't it?
Well, so is ours. But yeah. So this led to shockingly, this led to a something I wasn't expecting. Those were not mine, but I thought that I was taking a video because I wanted to show her what I was going after from this whole situation. But she wasn't having any of it. So that was the woman next to me who was like, "Could you please hurry up? I need to get away from this guy." And then comes the fun part. And if you've ever had a pedicure, you know what the fun part is. Before I get to the fun part, let's just check the comments here. We have said, let's not forget to draw a line because you never know. Ryan, were you not paying attention when I showed you the offside line of my toes? Because
oh dear.
Yes, Devlin. She is at home now, questioning her life choices. She's actually asked to be deported. It's the first time in history someone has asked to be deported. And she apparently Double Gooner is still here. He's doing what he wants to do. So the next step, the good part, as I call it, begins now. No amount of money, and it wasn't cheap, but like no amount of money is worth that. She doesn't even get to keep the money. Like that's for the shop. I tipped her.
What was that she was doing? Just rubbing all the dead skin off your leg or something?
I don't know, but I'll show you what that led into this. Danny's about to throw up. I mean,
she's just massaging your leg.
Was that my favorite part of the pedicure? I'm not going to say that it wasn't, but I'm also going to tell you that this happened. So I was a little embarrassed over this, but yeah, you rub my leg like that, and something's going to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, this is actually the lotion. And it's a gritty lotion, so that when you rub it onto the leg, it actually feels like sandpaper, but in the best possible way. Let's see what the reactions are here. We have John displaying untold courage and soldiering through this nonsense. We have cow-like hooves from Don Juan. I mean, if you're listening to this on iTunes, do you even put this out on audio only, Danny? Because this is on your.
Maybe we just shouldn't bother because they can't enjoy the full experience of your pork chops. I mean, I could barely tell where your leg stopped and your ankle started. So
well, that's and I've lost 94 pounds as well. So I mean, imagine before the ankles were you want to talk about cankles?
Cankles.
Mark says, Loki says he's had the little fish foot clean. I have had that too in Cozumel, Mexico. And I got to find pictures and video of that.
They all died, didn't they?
Oh, I got to find some pictures and I won't
So
be
how
able
much
to
was
do
it?
It was $40 and I tipped her 10, which in hindsight that really wasn't enough.
What happens in America if I ever go there? I will not
I
tip a
love this
single
comment.
fucking
Her
person
next job is
anything.
she's been promoted after this to a job at Chernobyl. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
So
What
if
were you
I when I go to America and I refuse to tip, what will happen?
saying? Nothing will happen, but they'll not be happy with you afterwards, and yeah, I mean you don't care what people think of you afterwards, so nothing would happen except they would kind of think that was rude.
But why don't they just charge more for the food? I mean, if you buy a dinner like we're going out for dinner Friday night, and it's going to be me, my mum, Sean, and Sean's mum. We're going to go to the White Hart in Godmanchester for
This
my mum's
food?
birthday.
This food right here?
No, and we're going to go there, and then we'll all have we'll probably have steak, 3 of us, and my mum will have some vegetarian bullshit, and then there'll be wine and beers, and them 3 and I'll just drink fizzy water, and then there'll be puddings, and that whole lot is probably going to cost me about 160 quid. But then you see the portions. For that amount of money, I'd want a steak so big that I need planning permission for it. In your country, that would probably end up costing about $100, and you get twice as much food. So why don't they just charge more money for the food and then go, don't bother tipping? Because it's a bullshit system.
Well, that would be complicated because then the establishment actually has to pay. See, here, waiters and waitresses at restaurants make half of what the minimum wage is. Their salary, they don't make a salary. They make a special dispensation, small amount of money per hour because they work on tips, which keeps them hopefully providing good service and earning good tips. So if they built it into the cost, I mean, there are pros and cons against doing that.
You're paying it anyway.
Cost. If they built it in the cost, they have no incentive to provide good service anymore.
No, that doesn't work because you get great service in this country from everywhere. And when I get the bill, I say, I don't want any service charge on that bill. Like we went to a steakhouse in Cambridge in November, and I think the whole thing come to about 140 quid. About 120 quid for the 3 of us. And I have a rule now that Sean has money. Say, Sean pays for the drinks, and Mum pays for the puddings, and I pay for the main meal because I don't have a pudding and I don't have a drink, and so I'm fucked if I'm paying. And then it stops them going, oh, I'll have one of them fake cocktail things. I'll have a nut. Sean, they're 7 fucking quid, and it's a mocktail. No, you're fucking not. I'm not having it. I'm not paying.
I'm still mad at her for saying you should get a glass of wine, and then she didn't get a glass of wine.
And then you drank the entire lot. Yeah, so it's a stupid system because you end up paying for it anyway. And people and I tell them, don't. I say if they're really nice, then I'll say to them, take off the service charge, will you? Or I'll say when they get the bill, I'll say no service charge, and then occasionally, most of the time, we'll just give them a fine. And I'll say to them, if I give you money, do you keep it, or do you put it in a pot, or do you give it to your company? If it's give it to the company or put it in a pot, then I don't give them it. But they say no, I keep it, then I'll slip them a $5. No matter how.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the waiters and waitresses make very little money, and the foot massagers, they make a small amount of money for the work that they do, but then they make most of their money in tips, and the tips all go to them. So,
yeah, but if they did it properly, you wouldn't have to do any of that lot. And if they just pay, I reckon people in this country minimum wage is about $12.50 an hour. What's that? About $60 an hour?
No, minimum wage here used to be like $3 or $4 an hour.
How is that even fucking feasible?
Well, it's not.
Why even bother having a minimum wage if it's that amount of money? It's
not. It's not anymore. When I was working minimum wage in high school, working as a dishwasher at a Mexican restaurant, I was earning $3.35 an hour. That was 1987. And but now I think I don't even know what the minimum wage is, $8 or $9 now, and they're trying to get it pushed up to 15. But
big deal, $15 an hour, which is what.
But when you're working in the tipped industry, you generally make half of that. and then the rest of it comes from tips. So yeah.
Ridiculous.
But
But in
yeah,
this country, the minimum wage is staggered going by how old you are. I think it's under 18, then it's 18 to 21, and then I think there's over 21. So Sean's earned minimum wage until she got promoted to shift manager. She's on minimum wage the whole time, but minimum wage here is a decent amount of money.
by the way, we're not.
12.
Lest you think that we're done with the pedicure, we're not done with the pedicure yet.
I'm
But I
trying
just
to talk him out of it.
I gotta go. So before he came to Gunagro in New Orleans, Demsek was in Times Square, and in Times Square there are these
Horrible Mexican people again with the
Men
Mexicans.
and women. That was from him.
You know my dislike of Mexicans. I know one and I hate him.
I love Mike Hers.
No, deviant.
He hates me, but I love him.
He's had a haircut, which made him look a little bit tidier.
So
horrible man.
So yeah, in Times Square they have these cartoon characters. They got Mario, they got Elmo, they got whatever
Iron
you
Man,
want. They also have scantily clad women, and
you have Guitar Man, the naked Guitar Man.
Yeah, the naked cowboy, and
Yeah.
you got and you take pictures with them. And I mean, on the one hand, they are out there serving as an attraction, and you take a picture with them, and the way they're essentially street urchins and beggars who are asking for money and providing you with some sort of service of being a thing in in an outfit and a costume or whatever. So if Demsek went there and took a picture with him and tried not to pay him, I wish I could have seen that. I mean, there's a tacit understanding that you're going to give them some money when that happens. But yeah, second person to ask if that's a golf course behind me. No, it is not. But the most disgusting thing is that people walk up to these. I mean, people with their kids walk up to Elmo, who, for all we know, could be a guy who literally just got out of jail for child molestation, wearing a costume that probably hasn't been washed
Ever.
in about 4,000 people that have touched it and hugged it and urinated on it. And for some reason, because it's Elmo, everything's fine. Just we'll let him take our son for the evening. I mean, like, it's the most ridiculous, disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. So now that being said, when Lee Judges was in town in New York, we did have our picture taken with some like cheerleader looking chicks who were wearing pasties and not much else. But we did tip them. So Lee understood the situation. He didn't get any fights with anybody, but he took my phone from me and took a photo, no consent. Speaking of no consent, here we go with the rest of the pedicure. So after this happened,
Sorry, people.
From the thing, I noticed something, which is that when I got in there were 12 seats in this place, and when I got in there, I had to wait about 5 minutes until I was placed at the 12th of 12 seats because everything else was taken. 20 minutes into the pedicure, like half the seats were open because people just interrupted they were in mid pedicure. They had some toenails that were cut, some that weren't. One leg was massaged, the other wasn't, and they just started fleeing for their own safety, which I don't blame them for. But when you pay your $40 and you sit there for 25 minutes and you have feet that look like that, this is what you end up with. And you know what? My wife is attracted to my feet again.
Ugh, I hate feet.
Yeah, she was so disgusted. She's like, if you're going to be wearing flip-flops in Florida because it's warm out, you're getting a goddamn pedicure. And at the very end, to keep your feet nice and warm and stuff, they put this on my feet. And I said to the woman, I was like, if I were you, I would have started with that and just left it that way.
Chopped them off, put them in a boiling pot.
I did actually tell her. I was like, I would be okay if you just chop the whole thing off. And she makes this motion, like my legs here. She makes this motion, like, chop it off. And I was like, yeah, just go ahead. I was like, if you have to saw it, like, I'm like, I wouldn't blame you for doing that. And then the most awkward thing was when I asked her for a picture. Oh wow, look at I didn't even realize how artistic that looks. I must have been using the portrait setting. We got my ugly mug, and I told you I've lost a few chins, but clearly I still have a few. And Gina was her name. Gina Goldstein, I think, was her name. And she agreed to take a picture, and the mask, it wasn't COVID because no one wears masks in Florida for COVID. It was to catch the vomit as it was coming out of the mouth. And so that was how I got rid of my angst and anger about the Arsenal Brentford game yesterday. And a couple more, we have the left foot before and after, if anyone wants to see. Now, to me, that thumb toenail on the after looks a little too cut. I mean, I think it is. You got to be very careful when you do them. I know. I mean, my dad was a podiatrist. I understand toes from him. He right before he passed away, he whispered in my ears, "You have disgusting toes. You disgust me, you dirty pig." And I mean, God rest his soul. He said, this is why I can't be on this earth anymore, is because I'm on the same earth as your toes. But no, I mean, it's going to take a while to heal, I think. And so I've been injured. I'm thinking of suing. And then this is the right one. I think that also a little too tight. When you have your hair cut and you don't want it bald and they cut it a little too tight. No, that's what happened here, I think, with my nails. But if you're looking for a before and after and you want a judgment on which is better, I mean, where's your vote? Chat room? Let's hear it. Before, after, or please take this photo off of the goddamn Sunday roast. And then the final video is the summary from afterwards with the lovely and talented Mrs. Magic. How are my feet? They look good? Are you happy now? Do you vomit now when you see me?
She asked me how she was going to get.
No, she didn't ask me a damn thing. I wouldn't have known what to tell her. Happy wife? Or the other way around?
Did she have any work done herself?
Not on this visit, but apparently, I mean, they all knew who she was when we walked in. It's like, oh, Stephanie, oh yeah. So yeah, they were very happy to see her, and they were surprised when we did the little rope-a-dope, and I was the one getting the services. So by the time that was over, I couldn't have given two shits about Arsenal Brentford.
That is the last time anyone's showing their feet on this podcast ever. That is more than enough fucking feet. You disgusting animal.
Look, man, I know this is your channel, but we agreed. The content decisions are 50-50. So
if you got a balloon and you drew dots on the balloon, yeah, and then put them really, really close together, got about 50 dots in a circle, really, really close together, and you blew that balloon up, the dots get further apart, yeah? So now that you're shrinking, are you becoming hairier?
That was a weird way to get to that question.
Yeah. Have you found that your beard is getting thicker? Or your head is less bald?
No, my beard, there's nothing I can do about what's happening with the situation there.
Yeah, but your follicles per square inch of face is going to be less now. It's going to be much more because there's less face.
That's a good point.
That could be a cure.
Hadn't really thought about that. That's huge, actually.
That is big. Go tell the women at the foot place.
Oh, I don't. Oh, no, I'm not allowed back in there.
No.
there's a sign on the front with a picture of my face and a line through it.
And did you wait around in the car park after and watch them drag all the furniture and all the tools out into them and put them in the skip?
No, actually, there were still people inside, and someone just walked out, and they threw a match over their shoulder and slowly walked away while the thing exploded. In those movies. And
sounds about right. What else you been up to then?
Yeah, I mean, do we need anything more than that? Super Bowl starting in an hour. What are you going to do for the Super Bowl?
I'm going to go and cook. Buffalo wings. doesn't mean anything different, people. It's just stupid Americanism. It means because you dip them in buffalo sauce or they're cooked in deep fried in buffalo sauce.
It's
They're the
because
same fucking size, boy.
it's because chicken wings became a thing in the city of Buffalo.
You know, I've never had chicken wings. I've never had
Oh.
ribs. I'm never fucking going. Why would you have either of those when you can just say I'll have chicken breast or a normal steak?
I don't like the breast. I'm here to say I don't like the breast. I like the I'm a thigh man. I love the dark meat. I love the thighs, and so did my and apparently so did my pedicures. I love that this show exists. Was that what you had in mind when you were like when we were both like, you know, we just did a pregame show for whatever game it was, and we barely even talked about Arsenal at all? We should do a show like that. Was this what you had in mind?
No, definitely not. It's what I had in mind. So, what are you going to do for the Super Bowl day? You got people coming over? Are you going anywhere?
Yeah. Well, we the community that we moved into here now has kind of, there's like an amenity center with it's really actually quite nice with a pool and a pool table, which is not in the pool, and they have it's a gathering place, and they have get-togethers there for various things, trivia nights and wine tasting and that sort of stuff. So there's of course a gathering there for the Super Bowl that starts in 30 minutes. I am not yet ready to go, as you can tell, but
No.
but I'll be cleaning up. I'll probably shave. I'll shower.
Why would you shave?
I don't know. It's getting a little too much at this point. I'll shave. I'll shower. I'll spend a few more special moments with the unicorn, and then we'll walk up the street and take in the Super Bowl with new friends and strangers. Because we don't know a tremendous number of people here, other than our next door neighbors. There are no neighbors this way. It's just
What's that way then? What are they going to build?
it's just wall. No, we live on the end of a cul-de-sac, so there's a wall, and then on the other side of that is a road, which occasionally we do get some noise from it. But it's nice only having one neighbor, because when I get out of the pool, I can take all my clothes off, and
What's on your right hand side? What's there?
On this side?
Yeah.
I just showed you. On this side?
No, you've got a house on one side, and what's on the other side? That's
That's a
your neighbours on that side.
No, that's a wall. That's a retaining. It's a hill, a retaining wall, and then on the other side of that is a street.
Got ya.
On this side is the neighbor's house.
So how far back is your land?
From the street?
No, from the back of the swimming pool.
Oh, like where's the
How far
end
back?
of our yard and the beginning?
Yeah.
Not much further back than the end of the pool, like maybe about another 6 to 8 feet, and then the pond is back there, and that's all common grounds, and then the hill, which I think now that the sun's going down, you can see a little bit better.
Yes.
The hill, and then but we've got the furniture hasn't been delivered yet, but we got the patio here, which they call the lanai. I've got the TV angled out so that I can watch it, warm up to the. And then there's the glass doors to the inside, and then the piece de resistance is the bar, the outdoor bar and kitchen, where shortly, not tonight, but in the coming weeks, I will be grilling and eating food and hanging out.
Oh, how's the not eating? Are you able to eat any more now than
No.
bite sizes?
I can still eat like this much. I mean, I eat more than I should, but I mean, the amount that I can eat before I start feeling sick and full and stuff is.
What's the
I mean,
point?
It's crazy compared to what I used to be able to eat.
Question there from Don.
Yeah,
What's that? Have you been on AFTV?
yeah. Let me. I have this somewhere, so hold on. If you want to, do we have a question or something that you could talk about for a few minutes? Because I think I have the appearance, and it was on a scale from 1 to 10 how intoxicated. The answer to that is 15.
Okay, you go and find it.
It was horrendous.
Loki says your legs look like drumsticks with cornflakes for toes. Don
That
One
sounds
likes
right.
Side breast and thigh. Lovely. Demsec
Side-
says
no, it's side boob. You can't say side breast.
say whatever you want. Gonna go and get rid of the question that one there. I'm trying to see if anybody else is. Josh Page says the government just shut down another flying object over the USA. Any chance it was a UFO? Well, that's the fourth one, isn't it, over USA and Canada? I think they're all Chinese spying balloons, aren't they?
I think it was a unicorn.
No. I didn't see this before. Dublin Gooner, but she cut off more toenail to make sure you don't come back for a while.
John is on fire today, man. He's great.
And Loki put, she wears the mask to stop the nail shrapnel. That sounds good.
I'm trying to get my wife's attention because I need more vodka.
Well, you don't clap your hands together.
Oh, no. But what I could do, that would be pretty fucking annoying.
I mean, you rang the bell for her. You had to go to the hospital to get that bell removed. So, are you looking for the video of you on AFTV?
Yeah. I don't think I have it downloaded, so I'm just gonna have to screen share, and then we're probably gonna get a copyright thing of.
We get that anyway because of your intro music.
No, we don't.
We get it every single time.
The intro music is non-copyrighted.
No, they haven't done it so far. Yeah. Well, give it time; they'll do it. We've only got 15 thumbs up. Oh, that is, as a percentage wise, that is very, very high. About 85%. Well, yes. Can't say we blame you.
All right,
I didn't even know you were on AFTV.
Yeah, you know what? I have a rule. I mean, first of all, I know there's a myriad of different opinions about AFTV, but
I don't think most people care anymore now. All the dickheads have gone.
Well, the dickheads have gone, and that's the whole point. I really like the people that are still there. I mean, it's not for everybody, and some people have given up on it and ruled it out long ago and don't even care that it's different now. But I mean, the people that are involved in it, Cecil, Robbie, James is phenomenal. Turkish, I've come 180 degrees on. The guy is a sound individual. I mean, look,
who?
Turkish.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, I
follow each other.
I thought he was a joker at the beginning because of all the cronky out stuff that he was doing, and then I got to know him, and I mean, I don't want to make this about AFTV, but I enjoy them, and they're doing what they do. It's not a big deal. If we lose, I don't like going on there, but when I'm there and we win, it's fun. And this time, I didn't have the sense of control to not go on there. So I pushed my way up through everyone to get on, and then this happened. And yes, I had a tremendous amount of red wine that day, because it's one of the only two things that I can drink right now. And yes, and don't forget Lee. I love me some Lee Judges, and he was there just right next to me, laughing at me the whole time I did this. So how do I share the screen here? Oh, you
present.
Yeah. All right, hold on.
Boop, be-doo, be-doo, doo, be-doo, be-doo. No, be-doo, dee-doo. Boodle, 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 bong. Old man is pressing buttons, people. Old man using technology. He's got the technology face.
I'm almost 50, dude.
Dude. Oh my God.
Right, hold on.
I'm holding. This better be worth it.
Oh, it's not worth it, but it's something.
Oh dear.
All right, here we go.
So, come on. It's your shitty laptop. All that is both. You've got houses all over the world. Can't get a laptop to work. I mean, what kind of world are we living in? Oh,
right. Are we there?
Oh, I can see it.
Can we hear it?
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Did you click share audio? No, we can't hear it.
You can't hear it? All right, hold on. Steph? All right, hold on. Let's get the volume. Is there a way of sharing screen with volume?
When you go to present, you have bottom left-hand corner. It says share audio.
Ah, okay. Got it.
Here we go. Second time lucky, people.
Okay, I'll
I hope
fix
she
that.
throws
Can
something at you and it hits you right in the face.
you bring me the vodka from the?
Fucking vodka.
Okay.
No
It's- it's
vodka
in-
for you,
It's in
Ratty.
the,
Oh dear. That's a hard no.
all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Can you hear it now?
I don't know. No,
Can you hear it now?
no.
What the? I put the goddamn thing on. You telling me you can't hear this when I play it right now?
No. Can you hear it? You have that glazed look.
All right, so you couldn't hear it.
No. Could you hear it?
I could, but all right. Present, share screen,
It's not going to work, is it?
share system audio is checked.
I think sometimes the way that StreamYard does it with this is an app. So I tried sharing some of my Champions League final video the other day, and it would not share the audio no matter what I fucking did.
All right, tell me. All right, this is the last time I'm going to try it. Tell me if you can, and then I'm just going to play it on my phone up to the screen. Tell me if you can hear the audio.
No.
All right. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way, the way that they did it back in the 1970s.
In the olden days when the internet first started,
Yeah.
I'm watching a series called Halt and Catch Fire. Anybody seen that? It is a magnificent series. I've watched it 3 times, and I'm about to watch it again.
All right, here we go. Hold on, I got to wait for the advertisement to play.
Bane of my life, fucking advert. Sometimes we make £1 a video. Won't be making it on this video.
Can I skip it yet? No, hold on, 2 seconds. All right, here we go.
There you go. Don't move.
TV, I've got a good friend Mike, all the way from the US here. Mike, you know what? You've got an uncanny way of always turning up for these massive, brilliant games. And this was another one. It's a fantastic game, by the way. And what a victory! This victory feels to me like it's huge.
Do we have to keep doing this? I mean, how many times do I have to keep coming here before we win the league? Come on!
These are the sort of wins. These are the sort of wins when you start to believe.
Yeah, I mean, look, this process. And I hate to say the word process because I see who's looking at me right now. Look, this is a different club. This is a different team. This is different things that are happening right now. We go down, doesn't matter. We give up a second goal, doesn't matter. We got this. It's happening, and we're gonna win this motherfucking league. Come on!
You really think it's happening?
Oh, dude, no. I'm
The
sorry.
crowd are not with you.
I hate to rain on everybody's parade, but this is not even in doubt anymore.
You're really feeling it. You're feeling.
I mean, look,
because I can understand.
I am generally speaking kind of I don't want to jeopardize this thing, but
Yeah.
tonight shows you. I mean, we were better than they were, and they scored. But we're not gonna go down anymore. We have lost games like that in previous years.
Yeah.
And it's not happening this season. It's happening now. I don't care what you say. It's
Oh, person seen.
Thanks very much, man.
That was an
Once
awful
again,
interview, but
no, it's a brilliant interview. It's happening, man. I want to think before you go, just tell everybody about your excellent charity that you've got. That's happening as well.
yeah, go to goodnessbecancer.com. We got that going on. But I mean, honestly, if you are an Arsenal supporter right now, there's never been a better time to support the Arsenal. Come on, let's do it. We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league. We are top of the league. Say we are top of.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.
You know why no one joined in? Because you were speaking the Queen's English. Dizzy fucks.
I thought that was going to be my. I thought that was my moment where I get like a catchphrase, and I'm like, and
you need to say in it more often.
As drunk as I was, I recognized that no one was coming along with me. Like I thought at the beginning it would be like, yeah, like everyone would start jumping around and stuff, and no. So So yeah, that was not my greatest interview.
Well, you
The
made
one
sense.
I did earlier in the season after the Villa game, where I dragged my wife onto camera, that I think was a pretty funny, good interview. When I said we're going to win all the duples and all the, I think I actually might have that one. But
If I was at a game and I saw you were drunk, I'd just go past you. I'd ignore you.
well, as you should. Most people do.
Oh, Peggy.
Most
Hello,
people
Debbie.
do. But no, that was embarrassing. Thank you for bringing that up and for asking you to. Yeah, and it must be said. Did I jinx it there because we haven't won since that game, or do they just need me to come back? And is Arsenal suffering because of me leaving? That's what I think is the situation. And I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna go back as soon as I can because this season is still salvageable, but only if I can.
Not if we lose on Wednesday, the season is over. We're not winning the league.
Oh,
simple.
stop it.
Simple as that.
Stop it. It's not over.
Our formation has shit the bed. Our players have shit the bed. The referees and that lot don't want us to win it. And the entire thing is on its fucking arse. And if we don't turn it around against City, we're fucked.
Just
because they
because
are going to steamroller it.
Just because you shit the bed doesn't mean Arsenal's shitting the bed. So
They have shit the bed. We've dropped 5 points in 2 games. That's more than we've dropped all season almost.
yeah,
But I mean, it's not the end of the world. We've only lost 1 game.
But
when you're going to win the league in this country, you can't afford to lose more than a couple of games.
We've lost 2 games, and we've drawn 3. And if you had told me, there's arms being bitten off all over the place. Now I don't know why when someone takes that viewpoint where, like, if you had told me at the beginning of the season we'd be X, Y, and Z, I would have bitten your arm off. Why do people have to bite arms off all the time?
And have you ever seen anybody thrown under a bus? It's never happened in human history.
I've seen the Copa del Rey thrown under a bus, but
I've
never
seen people thrown under trains. But this
Yeah.
bus thing, it's bullshit. Yeah, but I think we can beat City at home. But if they beat us, then we are fucked, and we're not winning the league.
I'm a bit worried actually after seeing how they started the game today. I'm a bit worried that this whole thing about them being charged with FFP is going to motivate them now, which is all bullshit because it's motivating players that they probably couldn't have afforded if they would have just fucking had the normal amount of revenues that they actually earn instead of trumping up a bunch
Your
of
boy, Kieran Maguire. My God, he hasn't slept for 3 days. I've heard him on about 5 different podcasts.
Oh, really?
And I listened to him for half an hour on Talk Sport with Mark Saggers, who was very, very good.
He is brilliant,
Talk
by the
radio.
way. He's the accessible Swiss Ramble.
Yeah, he doesn't. Swiss Ramble doesn't do podcasts. I asked him a while ago. He said, I
Right.
don't want
No,
to do them
you and
anymore.
I both struck out with him, although you said you had him on once.
Yeah, years ago. Remember, this is our 10th year, so...
And how weird is
Maybe
it that Swiss Ramble's name is Kieran, and then Kieran Maguire's name, amazingly enough, also Kieran?
The numbers don't stack up on that, do they?
I'm changing my name to Kieran.
Yeah.
I'm
Kieran.
But I am still working on. It's ridiculous how much time I'm spending on this. But I'm still working on a Chelsea video for Magic Mike Shows You the Money that takes a look at how they're avoiding FFP issues, what they're doing to their competitive future, and basically what they're going to probably do over the next 18 months to get out of it. But so that should be coming soon. I've been spreadsheeting my ass off over the last couple of months or a couple of weeks. But look, Kieran and Karen are the original Karens, and their Kierening is better than my Kierening. But I do think, and I do think like Mass Gunner thinks, because he's thinking like I'm thinking, which is that they're going to be a really hard team to fucking get. I mean, whatever emotional malaise and other situation that they've had that's kept them from playing at their best, they now are all going to be consolidated under the same thing. Getting rid of Cancelo, who apparently was an issue behind the scenes. They've done all the right things to rectify the second half or the third of their season, and they're not gonna drop many points now. So we got to take advantage of this on Wednesday.
If we draw again, if we beat them at home and draw away, we'll win the league.
Wow.
Because we don't have to worry. The only psychological game we've got is the main three will be Man City, Man United, and Spurs. They're the only, and 4 of those games have gone now, so we don't have to worry about that. The games that it doesn't matter form and it doesn't matter the players you've got. It's
Well, if we keep losing to Everton and dropping points against Southampton and stuff, then we got an issue. But you know, the blip and what is now, I didn't believe before Brentford that we had hit a someone's coming over to see me. I didn't believe that we had hit a rut. I do believe now we're on the verge of hitting a rut. You know, Brentford's a good team. They deserve to be in any game that they're in. Dropping points against Brentford is not in and of itself an embarrassing thing, but and you know, you can claim the VAR thing and we should have won or we could have won, but we're definitely not as creative. We're not as we're bereft of different ideas, and we're in a danger zone right now. And if we lose on Wednesday, it has a capacity to turn really bad. So Wednesday is everything right now. It's the most important game that we've played since yesterday, and I cannot get another pedicure after that game. So we have to win.
Look at that.
That's all I have, Danny. I promised Steph that I would be done in 90 minutes, and it's been 119 minutes. So I think, and
she
was not particularly happy about bringing me vodka a few minutes ago. So I think I'm gonna have to get my mentality straight so that I'm not in the doghouse all night.
Good. It's 10:50, and I'm going to go and cook my dinner, which should take 45 minutes at 180 degrees.
Buffalo wings, obviously.
I'll be having chicken and potatoes, and I love beans, but beans gave me the shits years ago, so I had to stop eating them. But now,
well, they have a way of doing that. Mass Gunner asked, if Todd Bowley sells in 3 or 4 years, does that reset their FFP like it did with Abramovich? Their FFP was not reset because the team was sold. It just wasn't.
And Abramovich wants money from them, doesn't he? Still,
that's just not how it works. I don't know whether he does or not, but that has zero to do with FFP. What happened there? So yeah. Anything else, Danny?
Oh, that's it. It's been lovely to see you and speak to you.
It's been a great Sunday roast. We've done both the disgusting.
We started off with death and despair.
Yeah. And then we went to the death and despair of my toes and of an entire office of pedicurists, and now we're going to end it off. So good luck to the Kansas City Chiefs tonight. I hope they win because I hope that the Eagles lose, and then we move on. So Danny, it's been a pleasure. Roasties, thanks for sticking with us.
When's your next podcast? Our next one is going to be pre-game on Wednesday evening, and then post-game after the show, and then the podcast is probably going to be maybe Tuesday. I don't know. Trying to get them to pick a time is impossible.
I have absolutely no idea when our next podcast is going to be, but probably Monday or Tuesday. But we'll see. So go to Bergkamp Wonderland on YouTube. Give a thumbs up to this video if you haven't already, or a thumbs down, or we're going to have installed before the next podcast a vomit button where you can show that you're vomiting.
Yes.
And this has been the 92nd episode of the Sunday Roast.
Thanks for watching the Sunday Roast with Mike and Danny. This is sometimes Mike, and this is Dan, and we have fun. Here's Bird Leno, and here's Sexy Mike, riding a horse. Danny loves junk food, we know he does, and Mike does tricks. We love football, but hate talking about it, so we made this show. Why you watch it, we don't know.
But it's fucking hard work. Get off me, you buzzy cunt. Fuck off. I hate them.
Sunday Roast is a joint production of a Bergkamp Wonderland and the Gooners Podcast. Join us every Sunday night at 10 p.m. for all the entertainment you didn't know you wanted, but can't live without. Have a great week, everybody. We out.